military or first responder background, get ultimate deals on the gear you love at govx.com. Sean O'Malley, 26. Thomas Almeida will be 30 in July. O'Malley has 4 inches in height and 2 inches in reach. All right, now for the introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer, holding a professional record, 22 wins, 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds. Fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, Thomas Domingos Almeida! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 12 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Sugar Sean O'Malley. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Smith.
I'm not a doctor, but I've been forced to do some medical research on Sean O'Malley leading into this fight. And Joe, the durability is a question mark, right?
Yes.
40% of his UFC fights have ended with some sort of injury, freak or otherwise. So it does bear watching for Sean O'Malley.
Tom,
it's
ready?
just another
Sean,
element that makes it exciting to watch because the guy's technique and style is spectacular.
All right, Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida in the bantamweight division. Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters and on HBO Max this Wednesday, rated PG-13. O'Malley is in green, and Thomas Almeida is in the white.
And that foot injury that he suffered in the defeat where I had to interview him when he was on his back, it's a very difficult one to come back from and oftentimes reoccurs.
Yes, that Lisfranc foot injury, is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, well, and can lead to mid-foot instability, which maybe we saw in the Cheeto Vera fight.
I think the Cheeto Vera fight was all Vera. I really do. I think it was all that calf kick. We've seen it happen so many times before. We saw it with Michael Chandler and Bellator. Your leg just goes numb.
Yeah, that perennial nerve,
yes.
Right? There you go.
And he just got kicked there right there. Ooh. And he returned fire.
But him fighting southpaw alleviates some of that, the possibilities of Almeida landing those outside kicks. Look at all these feints that he's throwing at him, trying to set him up. Let's see if he takes advantage of him when he gets Almeida biting.
Well, he's so tall and long for this division, too, and with, like, legit one-shot knockout power. And really creative, too.
Oh, nice kick there by O'Malley.
Thomas Almeida looks a little hesitant. And that's a lot of trying to deal with the distance and the length of O'Malley, and also just how creative he is in there. He's a hard guy to figure out. Like, look at that.
Oh, I think that kick might have hurt him a little bit.
Spinning back kick to the
back
body.
kick, right underneath the elbow. And O'Malley, it does limit the chances of you getting clipped if he's fighting southpaw, but O'Malley's best punch is the right hand. And he wants to drop that right hand on him, so he might need to go conventional. Because you remember the way he got Eddie Wineland. I mean, that right hand was nasty.
And the way he set it up, faking the uppercut.
Under 3 minutes here to go in round 1. O'Malley certainly had high praise for the legitimate skill set of Thomas Almeida. He said, I've got to be sharp and focused. Pretty sharp early is O'Malley.
And he can get to Almeida so much further away than Almeida can get to him. He does such a good job of managing the space, never allowing Almeida to fight him at his range.
Beautiful front kick. He does such a good job of mixing his attack up, so you really don't know what's coming.
Almeida needs to close the distance. Oh! I cannot believe he's still standing.
Oh, and a follow-up left hand. Fight continues. Almeida back up, but for how long?
I cannot believe Thomas Almeida is still standing up right now. Oh!
Another right hand for O'Malley, who hesitated briefly a moment ago.
Well, he thought it was over. He really did, but it's not. Thomas Almeida is still there.
Oh, my goodness. But then he just took another left hand.
You know, if this fight goes longer, Sugar is going to really wonder about his decision to walk away there when Almeida was hurt.
I hurt him bad, but I got to tell you something, man. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody take a kick that clean and is just standing, or even didn't just go out completely. That's crazy. Yeah, massive mistake by O'Malley, sure. But massive mistake. But, man, the chin of Thomas Almeida is crazy.
Very impressive. But now what happens if Almeida lands a low calf kick and makes his leg numb again?
No, it's a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. He thought the fight was over. He should have jumped on him. But, man.
Well, he wants those style points.
Right. Forget about the walk-off, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, right? It's about trying to create those moments. You can't create those moments. You got to finish the fights. And now Almeida miraculously seems to be back, which is insane.
And there's the weird psychological letdown. You know, you think you got to walk off KO, and now minutes later, you're still fighting.
You're absolutely right, Joe.
Oh, another head kick. Almeida able to eat it somehow.
Oh,
and another. But Almeida, you know, hands up high, classic defense. At least some of those shots are getting partially deflected.
Nice connection by Almeida with the right hand.
But even watching, right, you watch some of the difficulties that come with fighting Sean O'Malley. The movement, the traps that he sets, and the ability to evade and avoid a lot of the strikes coming in his direction.
So Almeida will make it to the stool. This corner cam brought to you by Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Grab one today at Casey's.
Senta aqui.
I'm excited to watch those replays.
Fique em pé, se debruça aí. Respira.
Breathe.
Respira. Tá me ouvindo?
I'm breathing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, here we go.
O que ele quer é ficar te cercando,
What he
fazendo
wants, he wants to surround you.
defendendo com golpe.
Move
Tipo golpe
around.
pra te machucar.
And here we see the highlights from round one. Here's that beautiful front kick up the middle by O'Malley. There's a spinning back kick, glanced off the body. And there's a low calf kick. Now let's take a look at the high kick. Oh, my goodness. That was shin to the chin. Amazing. I mean, of course he thought the fight was over. But he could have finished it right there.
Yes.
That could have been it. I mean, if he just jumped on him and
just threw some follow-up shots, it would have been over.
Credit to Almeida, though. It's a pretty quick recovery on the replay.
That's
the
insane,
unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyright work is illegal and punishable under law.
Almeida is from shoot the box.
Yes.
I mean, we can't. You can't stress that enough. That is like one of the greatest camps in the history of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
An original death camp. I mean, those guys were the destroyers of
Yes,
the
they
early
were.
days.
Tell you that much.
And he's gotten a lot of different looks, Almeida has. He's trained extensively in Thailand, has trained with Jimmy Gifford here in Vegas, did this entire training camp in his native Brazil.
The dude's used to being stunned, and he's been KO'd before. He knows what the feeling's like. You got to take him out. He's not going to quit. Beautiful low kick by O'Malley.
That was a beautiful low kick. Won't take many more of those before Almeida will be very limited in how he can move.
He's setting up a spin. Oh my goodness. Strong low kick by Almeida.
Yeah, that was nice. Nemiroff, bold character since 1872. Nice entry there by O'Malley. 3.5 minutes to go here in round two.
O'Malley has landed some punishing shots. Excuse me. Almeida has landed some punishing shots on the legs of O'Malley. Oh, look at that. Beautiful side kick by O'Malley.
He's trying to wait for Almeida to put weight on his front foot, and then he jumps and tries to kick down into the top of the knee. It's a very damaging strike.
You see the mixing up of the strikes, a staple of Sean O'Malley's game, continuing to attack that lead leg of Almeida.
Sean O'Malley is constantly changing. That's why Almeida's struggling so mightily to get a beat on what he's doing. He's southpaw, he's conventional. The right hand's first, the left hand's first. It's very difficult to fight a guy like that, especially when you're a traditional type of Muay Thai striker like Thomas Almeida is.
Man, O'Malley's hands look fast tonight. Again, attacks the body effectively there.
Everything looks fast. I love how he mixes things up as well. Those front kicks to the body, right when you think that you're in a good distance, you're in a perfect place for him to kick you.
It's that, right? It's that action right there in a nutshell. Whenever you think you got him trapped, he gives you some shoulder fakes, he gives you some movement, and the next thing you know, he finds his escape route and puts himself right back in the center of the octagon. Not only does it limit you getting your strikes off, it also makes it very difficult to try to take him down.
Oh, Almeida landed a right hand there.
Yeah, looked like partially.
And there's that front kick again up the middle.
O'Malley's a big guy for this weight class too, so you see him throwing a lot of big, tall guy technique, right? From that side kick to the knees, from the jab outside, the spinning attacks. All these things allow for you to maintain distance as the taller athlete.
Yes.
And O'Malley has mastered those type of techniques.
And that long front kick as well.
Yep, that front kick up the middle, the side kick, the spinning kicks. That all keeps you at his range.
And one of the things that's more interesting about him is the diversity of his strikes, that you don't know what's coming.
And for a small guy that gets a lot of knockouts, you would think that he would just rely on the punches. He's a guy that has shown an ability to put a person out with a punch, but he isn't relying on it. He's
just a smart guy.
And he's got a whole training camp essentially catered to him, a tremendous kinship with his right-hand man, Tim Welsh, Brandon Harris on the strength and conditioning side, and of course, Augusto Mendez for his jiu-jitsu.
There was another hard kick, two
kick
hard
there,
low kicks.
That was a
one on the
beautiful
outside
kick.
and one on the inside by Thomas Almeida.
Yes, beautiful kick by Thomas Almeida.
And it forced a little reset from Sean O'Malley. Under 30 seconds now to go in the round.
Yeah, these are punishing strikes. They're really taking a lot out of the legs.
Oh, nice.
Sean O'Malley.
Almeida desperately trying to get inside here.
Hard shot by Thomas Almeida. Again, punishing that left leg.
Thomas, right here.
Just breathe a little bit. Let's breathe. Let's take about 30 seconds to breathe. That's 2 10-9 rounds. Breathe and relax. And we're looking fucking great. Fucking great. Hey, this round, don't be afraid to dance on him a little bit more when you're backing up left and right, okay? He's gonna come a lot more urgent this round because he knows he's down by 2, okay?
Get some water.
Yep. Down by 2. We got 5 minutes to just focus. He can't touch you. He's way too slow, okay? Yeah, take your time. Don't let him touch you. Don't let him touch you, okay? Nice and snappy. Once you crack him, pull out and then go back in and crack him and then back out to dancing.
Pull your band up.
Hey, you're looking beautiful.
Round 3 is brought to you by P3, the official protein snack of the UFC. Some high praise on the social front from the great Teddy Atlas for Sean O'Malley a moment ago. And cardiovascularly, he just seems to be in supreme condition entering this third and final round.
John, that is, I mean, when you're talking about a good comparison, he's comparing him to Prince Nassim Hamed, saying he hasn't seen anybody that unorthodox in the way he creates and changes his styles. I mean, Sean O'Malley has a style that is so suited for him, and it has caused Thomas Almeida so many problems over the course of the first 11 minutes of this fight.
Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC.
Ooh, strong low kick by O'Malley.
And it seems like that one has finally impacted the mobility of Almeida.
Joe, you notice what O'Malley's doing now, though, right? When he's fighting conventional and Almeida tries to throw an outside kick, he just slides out of range a little bit. He doesn't make big movements. He just takes a slight slide action right out of range, and then he can return. He's made the adjustments he needs to avoid those happening to him again.
That was a nasty one. Almeida did not like that one. You could see he had to adjust his leg a couple of times to make sure his knee was okay. Ooh.
There it is again, right? He lands his, and then before Almeida can throw the return one, he's out of the way.
Almeida still moving reasonably well on that lead wheel. 3.5 minutes in the fight.
Good spin to the bottom there by Sean. Oh, and then he went high again. He's pulling away with his head straight up in the air, though. Ooh, beautiful right hand. Almeida landed a left hook in that exchange, just kind of glancing. Good front kick to the body by Sean.
Beautiful. But, Joe, you know, in the age of social media, right, you get a walk-off knockout, it goes viral. Right. But now Sean O'Malley's into the 3rd round, thought that he had a walk-off knockout. I mean, the moment of just finishing Thomas Almeida would have been big enough for him. But now he seems to be on his way to a decision.
Yes. Nice knee to the body there by O'Malley.
So for as good as he's fought, that mistake still looms large, and hopefully down the line he learns from that and goes and tries to jump when he has his opponents that hurt.
Well, you know, it's a part of the evolution and learning. I mean, the kid's 12-1 right now.
Right.
And these are just some things that he has to sort out along the way.
And that would seem to me to kind of be a lean into the pessimistic, right? I mean, if you're leaning positive, this is valuable experience for him, who's had a lot of quick fights.
I'm going to tell you one thing, man. You don't want to have an extended night when you don't have to.
Right.
You know, so it was an opportunity, but you know what? He was not deterred by the fight going longer, and it is valuable. And he's been showing off a great improvement to his skill set. He looks better than he ever has. So you're right, John.
I'll tell you, Thomas Almeida's been very durable since that knockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very impressive because he's eaten some big shots since then and absorbed them all.
And there was a time when Thomas Almeida seemed to be one of those guys that had been in the wars and the chin was starting to fail him. Since he's been back, he has shown that he's refreshed, man, and he can take a shot.
And how about the toughness? He eats that crippling right hand and immediately tries to get back into the fire. It's been outstruck unofficially 82-17 with about a minute to go.
Ooh, O'Malley looks crisp. That front kick up the middle.
Oh, that left hand hurt him bad. He's doing it again.
And again, the hesitation. Oh! He gets another highlight for the real Sean O'Malley. Finishes Thomas Almeida.
Maybe he should have stopped it.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
that would not have, he wouldn't have taken that punch.
Goodness.
Holy smoke.
Wow.
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 Joe, maybe he should have stopped it on the walk-off so that he didn't have to take that shot.
That was a rough
nasty.
one. That was a rough
That
one.
was a bomb.
That one maybe didn't have to take place, and we're going to get a better look at it. DC, talk us through this.
All right, let's get to the fight replay. It is brought to you by Nemiroff, bold character since 1872.
A lot of kicks by Sean O'Malley, very diverse with his attacks. Those outside leg kicks were beautiful. High kick lands right on the chin of Almeida, hurts him bad. That front kick was invaluable tonight. O'Malley put on a fantastic performance. I mean, he had Almeida hurt on multiple occasions, but the toughness of Almeida allowed for him to keep fighting. Now watch here. As he enters, watch this little short left hand. Boom! Drops Almeida. O'Malley goes, okay, it's over. Ref's like, no, you got to keep fighting. I mean, wow. And it flattens him, stiffens him.
He was incapacitated
That's
at that point.
crazy.
He wasn't defending himself.
Well, he didn't even see that last punch come.
Yeah, he was hurt.
I mean, Joe, he was so hurt that when O'Malley was like, okay, I guess I got to hit him again,